No matter what anyone says, moving past a relationship is difficult. We've all been there. In the midst of the most perfect and fairy tale-ish relationship, out of the blue comes the full stop. And 95% of the times, you don't even see it coming. He will say that it's not working anymore, or that he needs some space to figure out who he is, or that it's just not meant to be, or that he met someone else, or that he is moving. And finally, after delivering the typical, "It's not you, it's me, and I'm sorry," he will silently walk away, leaving you all alone to pick up the pieces and start over. And it hurts. It hurts like hell. The tears come and go, and yet the hollow feeling in your chest doesn't. You feel forlorn, devastated, aghast, heartbroken, and it just seems impossible that he is the one responsible for it. People around you will never understand the heart-wrenching pain you're feeling, as if the whole world has fallen apart. And then you'll finally realize that you are the only one who has to fight this battle. Moving on is one of the hardest things to do. It is not something that will happen instantly. It might take months or even years in some cases to finally forget that person. You can't just decide that on such and such a day. It will be an everyday struggle. When you have invested any amount of yourself into someone else, calling it quits is not easy. And moving on is a challenge in and of itself. So what is perhaps more challenging is figuring out if you are actually over it or if you just think you are. These signs you're over your ex will help you figure out where you are in the emotional process, and according to several experts, there are definitely ways to work through how you are feeling. It can take a while to get over someone you are really into, but time and distance work wonders for even the most broken heart. If you're not sure if you've completely moved on from the guy or girl you were once so in love with, ask yourself if these things apply to you. Number 1, you don't freak out when your phone rings. You used to be afraid to miss any calls or texts in case it was your ex making contact. But now, you don't even flinch when you see a missed call from an unknown number. Instead of biting your nails and wondering if it was him or her, and if he or she will call again, you decide it's probably a wrong number and forget about it. Number 2, when your ex stops occupying your thoughts. You might not even realize it at first, but at some point when you've moved on, your ex will stop and become an afterthought. It's okay if your ex occasionally pops up in your mind, and you will know you have moved on when you stop wondering what they are doing or who they are with. When you stop checking their social media. When you have stopped texting or stopped waiting for their text. When you have stopped wondering where things went wrong and start wondering what the future holds just for you. Number 3, you don't hate or love him anymore. There were times when you thought you'd always love your ex. Then there were times when you thought you hated why you met them. Now you actually don't feel either thing. You are completely indifferent. That's when you know you're over your ex, because hate can sometimes be closer to passion than you think. Number 4, you're starting to become interested with someone else. Now, while it isn't always the best idea to try and immediately jump into a new relationship after a breakup, a good way to see if you've moved on from your ex is if you're even slightly excited about being with someone else. Now, you don't have to be in love with them, but just that you're thinking about it is enough. Or maybe you've started fantasizing about someone else. It's been a while since your breakup and you're so over your ex that you find yourself imagining your future in bed with someone else in it. At least your ex has been fired as the star of your fantasy.